The prophet Isaiah. Now, in my last video, I mentioned that Isaiah was particularly famous for prophesying the coming of the Messiah, and how could he have known that this was going to happen? Well, he knew because of the relationship that he had with God, that he could accept and believe whatever truth he was told. Now, one such truth is the mystery of the kingdom within. Now, this was not just true for Isaiah, but it's true for all of us. The mystery within, the kingdom within, was a mystery that has been hidden for time, even though it's in plain sight within the Word. Now, Jacob was amazed that he had seen God's face and survived. Isaiah had also been in God's presence. He saw the Lord sitting upon a throne. Now, our highest place of authority is a throne. Our Mount Zion, our body's control centre, that's our brain. Now, the thalamus in the brain processes and passes on information from the sense organs. It also plays a role in regulating states of sleep and wakefulness, and this, in fact, is how God communicates with us through our dreams. This is the throne of God. Now, the optic thalamus, their visual signs travel from the retina through the optic nerve, which connects the eyes to the central nervous system. Now, the first stop is the thalamus in the centre of the brain. The thalamus further processes the information and separates it into parallel paths based on colour and detail or contrast motion, creating a complete picture of the world around us. This is the light of the world. Golgotha, or Calvary, was a site immediately outside of Jerusalem's walls where Jesus was crucified. Now, in Aramaic, Golgotha means place of the skull or a skull. Now, the pineal gland is a small gland that's located in the centre of the brain. Now, despite its small pine cone-shaped size, it plays a crucial role in regulating our various physiological processes, one of those being the production of melatonin. Now, the pineal gland produces a hormone called melatonin, and that's derived from serotonin, and it is involved in modulating our sleep patterns. Now, this is key when we consider that God communicates with us through our dreams. Also, it was amidst sleep that Isaiah found himself in the presence of the Lord. He saw him sat upon a throne in a temple. Now, its primary function is to control the circadian rhythm, which governs the sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin secretion increases during the dark hours, basically nighttime, and decreases during the light hours, daytime. So melatonin is often referred to as the sleep hormone. Although it's not essential for sleep, but higher melatonin levels are often associated with better sleep quality. Now, I mentioned circadian rhythms. Now, circadian rhythms are natural processes that follow a 24-hour cycle and respond primarily to light and dark cues. So, for example, people who travel a lot, maybe in different time zones, flying all over the place, are likely to experience disruption to their circadian rhythm, also known as jet lag. So, the pineal gland, also known as Joseph, releases the masculine hormone honey. The pituitary gland is a small pea-sized gland located at the base of the brain, below the hypothalamus. It's also known as the master gland of the human body because it releases a variety of hormones that circulate our system and aid in maintaining our internal homeostasis or balance. One of the hormones, oxytocin, produced by the hypothalamus, plays a vital role in childbirth and stimulates the production of milk. The pituitary gland releases a feminine hormone, milk. So whilst the spinal column is the main support mechanism for the body, the 33 vertebrae are reminiscent of the 33 steps of Jacob's ladder. Now, the cerebellum controls movement and coordination of motor skills, especially hands and feet. The cerebellum, also known as the little brain, because of the way it looks at the back of the skull, also known as arbor vitae, or white matter, which is Latin for tree of life, so called for its branch-like appearance. The basket or Purkinje cells are shaped like the Joshua tree. Joshua, close to Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth. Now, the sella turcica, or the mercy seat, Latin for Turkish saddle. It's a saddle-shaped depression in the skull, in the human skull, where the pituitary gland sits within this seat, the sella turcica. Exodus 25:22 tells us that, "And there will I meet thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat." Now the claustrum, again in the brain, secretes oil once a month, which is then differentiated in the land of milk and honey. And the pineal gland, Joseph, as we've discussed, the honey, pituitary gland, Mary, the milk, they meet, the fluids mix into an oil in the solar plexus, also known as Bethlehem, or the house of bread. And this is where the Christ seed is born. Now from the sacrum, the sacred oil must now return to its source in the heavens, which is the head, ascending up the spinal column, also known as Jacob's ladder. The 33 vertebrae, or 33 steps of the ladder, as I've said, represent the 33 years of the life of Christ. Now the crucifixion then occurs at the place of the skull, at the top of the ladder, or Golgotha. Now the oil remains in the cerebellum for 2.5 to 3 days, the length of time that Christ was sealed in the tomb. The Christ oil then ascends to light up the optic thalamus, the light of the world. This light then moves into the pineal gland to activate the dormant brain cells, to wake us up, essentially, to wake us up to the kingdom within, to stir us, to educate us. Because the pineal is where Jacob saw God face to face and lived. Now I pray that you found this beneficial, and I pray that you found this beneficial and useful. Thank you. Shalom.